Hello, and welcome back to another video. This is the 9th episode of story in which Naruto is grandson of Madara Uchiha. Naruto learns of this when his Sharingan activates. Let's see how Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha takes world by storm. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. The gates of Konoha peer over the horizon through the dense foliage. Naruto landed them a short distance away, and the walk back is somewhat awkward. The serenity of Konoha's surroundings do little to ease the tension. Hawks cry and bugs chitter, but the noise, it seems, is drowned out by each other's thoughts. Naruto-kun, that man? Guy's question is tentative and uncertain, as if he believes he's been led onto something that was meant to be a secret. It kind of was. Naruto hadn't counted on Obito revealing himself like that, but the cat is out of the bag now. Guy's curiosity has been piqued, and even if Naruto himself doesn't say anything, Tsunade probably would in a potentially misguided attempt to have Guy keep Kakashi in check. Once they're back in the village, Naruto is going to have to be careful with how to reveal this information to Kakashi. Kakashi is trustworthy, however. He wouldn't skip out of the village to go hunt down his supposedly dead friend, especially when he has a wife and a child, and his students who defer to him when they need it. Naruto is more worried about the ramifications this secret would have on their relationship. But he can't hide this forever. If it harms his friendship with Kakashi, then so be it, but better to have one of Konoha's best warriors prepared to fight than in emotional turmoil when the truth comes out. Telling Guy the full truth now could backfire, but there is still a chance that he would have the Jounin in his corner if he can explain early before rumors start screaming across the village. He wasn't lying, he does know you. He might even have been your friend at some point. Naruto reveals cautiously. Team Guy and Sakura listen in without any subtlety. I don't recall being close with many Uchiha throughout my life, Naruto-kun. Guy leans in, eyes sharp. His name is Uchiha Obito. Guy stops in his tracks. Naruto doesn't. He keeps up with his long strides before Guy leaps in front of him, posture imploring Naruto to say otherwise. That's impossible. Obito is dead. My grandfather rescued him. Naruto states without preamble. Kakashi knows that Obito died for certain. Yes, well. Turns out an old man with a penchant for cheating death and prolonging the life of another, also has a talent in bringing people back from the brink. Obito would have come back. Naruto stops and takes a breath. He can feel the lower-ranked members of their team looking at them, possibly confused. Possibly odd that Guy is willing to contest Naruto after the havoc he caused, possibly simply curious about this Obito that has Guy wound up. People can change, especially an Uchiha who knows what love is and what it's like to lose it. Madness is an ongoing problem I'm trying to exterminate from our genes. Kakashi deserves to know. Guy cuts him off, sternly. Kakashi needs to be kept far away from Obito, even if he does deserve to know. That is not for you to decide. Obito was his friend who saved him, and he has the right to have closure now before it's too late. He murdered my parents. Naruto shouts, finally snapping and releasing the stranglehold on his chakra. The ground cracks under the pressure and they recoil from his presence. Obito is a psychopath trained by my grandfather to replace him. He released the Kyuubi from my mother and caused the damn near destruction of Konoha. He is the one who inducted a clan-murdering monster into his organization to do the same thing to everyone, and he is the one trying to append all of society and turn it into nothing but a vat for broken souls. He is a problem child from my clan, who is now rampaging across the world to destroy it and everything that anyone ever loved. Guy is stupefied into silence, but Naruto doesn't let up and pen-up words fly from his mouth. I've been training and fighting and evolving for the sake of fixing these mistakes that my grandfather set into motion. I've been trying to correct the 1,000-year weakness that has plagued my clan that allowed this mess to be possible in the first place. Every damn thing I do is to protect Konoha and the rest of the world from eternal darkness brought by our hands. Our legacy will be one of nothing but hatred and fear, all because Uchiha are born broken. This disaster is my responsibility to fix before it consumes the entire world, so don't you dare go lecturing me about closure and deservedness. Naruto. Kakashi already has a target painted on his back, just because he has a fraction of Obito's full power. He has a wife and daughter that don't deserve to go without him, and he has worked too hard for his happiness to just have it extinguished by one of my kind. He guided me in my youth, taught me what it meant to be a man and not just a shinobi. It is my responsibility to protect him in turn, from an foe that he cannot possibly conquer. We are the problem. He's just a man getting caught in our chaos. I've underestimated you, Uchiha Naruto. Neji thinks, watching as Guy puts a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Honor. It's about honor. Naruto had always been something of an enigma to him, and it had always been hard to distinguish who Naruto really is behind his reputation, behind his status as someone who stands with the greatest shinobi that have ever been produced by Konoha. He puts up a front of being a clown sometimes, making dark or lurid jokes, but it's quite clear now just how seriously he's taking the conflict with the Akatsuki. What they're up to has him worried, and it apparently involves the Uchiha clan to a great extent. The leader of the Uchiha clan is taking full responsibility for his wayward clanmates, and it has made Neji respect Naruto even more. He could claim that it has nothing to do with him, two people from before his time turning the world upside down. But instead of letting them drag his name through the mud, he's being proactive about maintaining an identity of positives to the eyes of everyone who watches the Uchiha clan. Hiashi had gone on explosive rants with many of the Hyuga elders 3 years ago when Naruto hadn't just revealed his innate power, but also sealed the Nibi into Sasuke. His uncle believed that it was a power play to secure a higher position in the village, stating things like the Uchiha clan now owning a Baijuo for the sake of terror, and revealing forgotten powers at the Chunin exams in front of hundreds of potential clients, including powerful nobles. But Neji had been there that day. Naruto sealed the Nibi in Sasuke because he had no choice. Naruto hid his own power for evidently a good reason, because Neji can blatantly see that Hiashi and the Hyuga clan's ego is too great, and they would have wanted orders that Naruto would keep the Sharingan to himself and never reveal it for the sake of letting the Hyuga be the premier dojutsu wielders in the village. Everything Naruto has done has been for the good of himself, the Uchiha clan, and the village, be it intentional or otherwise. Naruto has a gift for making things work, despite strenuous circumstances. No Hyuga has ever been capable of doing the things Naruto can do, and yet, Neji feels that Naruto's ability to hold himself back and just lord it over everyone in the village is a quality that the Hyuga also lack. His clan does it to each other. What would happen if given the power to control an entire village? Naruto has earned his support through all of this. He has proven himself to be a responsible and trustworthy asset to Konoha, far beyond what Neji's preconceptions led him to believe. Neji will support Naruto's efforts going forward. It's the least he can do for the man using all of that godlike power for the sake of his village. Naruto Dono, I won't forgive myself if I were to let you face these terrors alone. Neji announces to him. You have my allegiance when it comes to this matter. Neji can't ignore his own problems, but the Akatsuki seems too big to ignore too. Naruto seems caught off guard by the proclamation, but all of Team Guy reaffirm that he's not in this alone. He shouldn't be. Tsunade-sama, go home. Shizun's voice orders loudly from behind the Hokage's office door. No tilde. Tsunade whines miserably. Naruto's confusion is abated when he opens the door and sees Tsunade keeled over a bin. Tsunade looks weakly at him before retching. Tsunade-sama? Sakura gasps, moving forward. Are you alright? She's fine. She just needs to go home. Shizun shrugs, evidently knowing that this isn't a rare occurrence for women in this condition. Go work to do. Tsunade protests again. She needs to hear our mission report. Naruto adds, and Tsunade looks at him gratefully for a second before he knocks her down again. You can take her home after that. I'll take over her duties until she's ready to come back. Tsunade-sama should really be resting. I know that. But this is something that can't wait. I need you to get me a skilled Yamanaka, a scroller from the Barrier Corps, and start convening the elite level Jounin in the village for a briefing. Sasuke and Jiraiya too. Is it really that serious? Shizun mutters, almost rhetorically. Tsunade grabs the younger woman's arm. Do as he says, Shizun. Please. Naruto turns to Sakura and Team Guy. All of you stay as well. Your exposure to that man will serve as a second account to my report and help impress how important the next few weeks will be. As you say, Naruto Dono. Neji affirms, and the group hears the flittering of Anbu as they dash away to assemble everyone. Sasuke is alert after being given emergency summons to the assembly hall in the Hokage Tower. He wisely decides not to approach Naruto, who appears to be receiving a mind reading through Yamanaka Inoiki's hand, while the blonde man's other hand rests on the forehead of a scroller that he remembers seeing in the barrier division. Any word yet? He hears Yuhi Kurenai ask Kakashi-sensei. No, nothing. But I don't imagine anything good. Is Kakashi's observation, obvious though it may be? Sasuke observes as Inoiki recoils away from Naruto, shaking his head as he does so. Your mind is a pain to move through. Inoiki mutters to Naruto. But you got what I was showing you? I did. Would it not have been easier to use genjutsu? Me using that kind of genjutsu on people tends to end with them being catatonic, and I don't know how to scroll memories myself. Ah. Sasuke remembers being subject to Naruto's Tsukuyomi before. Excellent at showing memory and vivid detail, but it had left him exhausted after being pumped with so much of Naruto's dense chakra at once, and that had been when Naruto was taking it easy on him. The scroller sets to work at apparently cataloging Naruto's memory while Inoiki moves on to Jiraiya. Naruto whispers something into Jiraiya-sensei's ear. He sees Sakura and Kakashi subtly making their way to him. Sakura's body language emanates stress, while Kakashi appears to be quite languid as usual. Sakura bursts into nervous whispers to them both. "Look, you're gonna hear it, but this is bad." Sakura hisses out quickly. "Sasuke, the people after you, they've got someone that even Naruto couldn't kill." "Sensei. Calm down, Sakura." Kakashi puts a hand on her shoulder, but Sasuke sees his posture change immediately into ready mode. "Attention!" Tsunade shouts over the bustling shinobi, although it is comparatively subdued to her usual volume. She looks a bit green around the gills and Sasuke wonders if she's been drinking. Muratabi gives an amused huff in his mind, as if she knows something he doesn't. Naruto stands up at the forefront of the room, brushing the bang that covers his eye off of his face and looking all business. "Firstly, I didn't prepare this report in advance. This emergency meeting has been called because of the events that just occurred on our mission to rescue the Ichibi Jinchuriki from the Akatsuki." Naruto looks around as the assembly shuffles and maintains silence. "We failed. The Akatsuki has successfully captured the Ichibi and the Jinchuriki is dead. By the mandatory process of their advanced Fuinjutsu, the Nibi Jinchuriki must be next. To prevent the Akatsuki from obtaining intel about him, all operations involving Uchiha Sasuke are strictly qualified as S rank. If you hear so much as a murmur about what he's doing, you take that secret to your grave." "Fuck." Sasuke tenses, clenching his fists. "Indeed." Muratabi breathes heavily. "The Akatsuki operates in teams of 2 S-rank shinobi. The 2 that captured the Ichibi are now dead, but have been replaced with 2 more powerful members that pose a greater threat to Konoha and the continuation of all life in this world. We'll be reviewing the known members of the Akatsuki now in order to prepare for an inevitable invasion attempt." The barrier corpsman throws up his scroll, one so big that it touches the ceiling. Colored blots of ink rake across it and transition into a clear picture smoothly. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame come up first. Naruto goes as deep into detail as he can regarding their capabilities before another familiar face appears on the scroll. Yakashi Kabuto. Former apprentice of Orochimaru, and master of Senjutsu. His skill in medical ninjutsu is rivaled only by Tsunade. You will see more detail shortly on the display scroll based on my encounter with him on this mission. Naruto takes a deep breath before a boy appears on the scroll, one sporting vivid red hair exactly like Karen's. And his eyes. "Uzumaki Nagato." Naruto announces, and the pause is filled with several intakes of air. Possessor of the pair of Rinnegan that once belonged to Uchiha Madara. Inheritor of the Uzumaki life force and chakra strength. We don't know what his current appearance is, but this is what he looked like during the Second Great Shinobi War. Wait just a minute. Jiraiya leaps to his feet. Nagato is dead, and he fought for peace when he was alive. The Gedomazo, the vessel in which the Baiju are sealed in, can only be operated by someone who wields the Rinnegan. Since I was attacked by the true leader of the Akatsuki, I know that he does not possess the Rinnegan. That means that the person using the statue is Nagato, or someone with Senju or Uzumaki blood. Since the statue is locked down and I can't summon it myself, it means that the person who possesses it now must be exceptionally gifted at Fuinjutsu, a kind of mastery that takes decades to accomplish. The Uzumaki clan was renowned across the world for this exact skill, and Nagato was a known survivor of this time and could have received tutelage from his parents or the person that took over training, manipulating him into this organization and protecting him until he became strong enough. He's alive? Jiraiya-sensei sounds shattered and horrified, and his pained whisper echoes. Jiraiya-sensei once told him a story of a boy that inspired his first book. A pupil that held the power of a god, and was lost to war before he could reach his potential. I have a bad feeling. Kakashi murmurs to him and Sakura, and the latter shrinks into herself. Sasuke gets the feeling that the worst has yet to come. Naruto looks at Kakashi from the front. He looks like he's about to regret what he's doing. Play the memory. Dim the lights. The scroll begins to slide, the picture shudders like one of the theater projections they're familiar with. Reunions are so awkward. Your parents are rolling in their graves. Kamui. Wooden constructs, flames and smoke, the ground moving as though it were clay. Stop, Kabuto. Behold in despair. Meteors fall from the sky. I will sever the fate of this world. Kakashi feels cold. His body refuses to obey him. The man is pale. The man wields the Sharingan. The man has deep scars on the right side of his face. The man is unbelievably skilled and powerful. Uchiha Obito. Kakashi is shaking. He falls to his knees. More words spill from Naruto's cold, clinical mouth. Kyuubi attack. Uchiha incident. Perpetration of civil war. Obstruction of the Ichibi rescue team. He can barely hear Sasuke's scream of denial, of anger, or Sakura's rush to keep him contained. This is a dream? Kakashi says aloud, not even noticing his wife panicking to get him to respond. Kakashi blacks out. Guy wants to leap to Kakashi, but right now, this is a cruel joke. Kurenai stomps up to Naruto. Obito is dead, and Kakashi watched him die. That boy, he was a complete dunce. Not some criminal mastermind. Kurenai. Guy warns sternly. The relevant memories are genuine. Inoiki confirms the worst. Elite Jounin are critical thinkers, more often than not. Sometimes, emotions can serve as obstacles when confronted with uncomfortable truths. The split-second decision that Naruto has made to reveal this sensitive information is calculated, but there is always risk, and given that it pertains so heavily to his clan, knowing that it might put him in such a negative light. A stroke of genius. An opportunity has already presented itself for Naruto to control the flow of potential gossip and propaganda against him. Taking the reins as Hokage while Tsunade-sama recovers. This harsh truth may affect his relationships with Kakashi and Sasuke, but by God, if Naruto isn't intelligent enough to abuse every possible avenue he could to ensure that Konoha would not only be prepared for the threats, but that the honor of the Uchiha clan could be redeemed by Naruto's proactive efforts against his own clanmates, both Uchiha and Uzumaki. This manipulation, the political maneuvering, his sheer power, all for Konoha and the world. Guy doesn't like lies or half-truths, but Naruto doesn't do anything of this scale without reason. That took some serious balls, kid. Shikaku praises with keen eyes, and Guy presumes that the man has seen through it for the most part and is still impressed. Although he and many other high-ranking shinobi appear slightly pale, and Guy understands it. If it's not for the fact that Uchiha Obito is apparently alive and went from dead last to one of the strongest forces in the world, then probably for the fact that everyone in the room witnessed Naruto fighting from his own point of view. The blurring speeds and scale of his power is terrifying to say the least. It's inhuman, for a man his age to surpass everyone in Konoha. Seeing through the eyes of someone who is inconceivably stronger than them must hammer in the fact that yes, if Naruto is taking this threat seriously, they should be too. I hope you're aware that the next few months are gonna be annoying. Shikaku continues with little flair. I mean it, Tsunade-sama has a talent and years-long efforts to repel all the annoyances that tried to bother her for their own gains, but with fresh blood in the water, they're not gonna be so patient. That's the idea, Naru-san. Naruto looks as though he's about to wink, and Guy sees Shikaku's eyes sharpen ever so slightly. I see. Maybe it's for the best that Tsunade-sama takes a break, she looks a bit unwell. I hope you're ready for what's coming. As Shikaku is ready to turn away and discuss the meeting with his friends, Naruto stops him. Naru-san. Something cold in his voice makes Guy uneasy, although it's not directed at Shikaku. Shikaku stops and straightens. Naruto goes on. Konoha does not have clean hands, and I do not like to admit it. But even in Konoha, there may be undesirables that make this place something unworthy. Your boy indirectly pointed the finger at your clan 3 years ago with some harassment of my teammate with his own. I've been wondering if it was your doing, to get my attention and take a closer peek at what goes on between the clans of Konoha. Shikaku remains silent and thankfully their conversation goes unheard. I don't want pointed fingers, Naru-san. I don't want rumor-mongering and whispers. I want irrefutable proof that does not waste my time. If you have anything, you're welcome to share. But we're too late in the game of another entity to be playing with each other like this. I hope that you understand that subtlety will not get anyone far with me right now. I have bigger ambitions. Naruto takes a few steps up to Shikaku, all but towering over him, and the Naru leader meets his gaze regardless. We are aware. Naruto utters. And overt assistance will go a long way to protecting yours as well. Guy feels like he's going to get a headache with all the bouncing around between subtle and loud. Naruto seems to have this handled for now. Guy hopes that his presence at Naruto's side serves as its own deterrent for naysayers. I'd better check on Kakashi. Or he would, if Kakashi wasn't already in the process of storming over to Naruto. Did you know? The words fly from Kakashi's mouth before he can stop himself, before he can calm down enough to even try and perceive the situation logically. His throat is tight and his vision is blurring in barely controlled emotion, of which he can't identify yet. It comes out as a demand, not a question. But Naruto is wholly unaffected, perhaps having seen this coming, or maybe out of a lack of desire and care to explain himself. No. Naruto's Rinnegan observes him as he denies coolly, and the anger roaring to get out spikes up. Or rather, we only suspected that he might be alive as of a few weeks ago. Tsunade and I compiled intel and guessed that if he hadn't died from natural causes, then you knew his identity. You knew he didn't die. Kakashi interrupts, words clipped in greater rage. Naruto halts, eyelids falling slightly, and Kakashi wonders if all he's going to get is another catered, clinical response. I want the truth. Kakashi demands, and his hand cramps at how tightly his fists are clenched. All eyes in the room are on them, waiting for Naruto to reveal just what the hell is going on. And Naruto just stands there with that calculating expression on his face. Like what he wants to say must be measured to what kind of effect it will garner. Kakashi had been indulgent with him when he was younger, letting him keep his secrets. But this. It's so exhausting. The deathly silence is finally broken. Uchiha Obito was rescued by my grandfather and nursed back to health, for the sake of using Obito's innate potential to achieve Madara's goal posthumously. But Obito was strong-willed, and in order to get him to do what Madara wanted, he had to be broken first. Nohara Rin had the Sanbi sealed in her by my grandfather, and he framed Kirigakur for it. He gives Kiri a little tip that a young Jinchuriki will be easy pickings, and so the girl is forced to decide if she should pretend nothing has happened and that she isn't a walking time bomb that's ready to deploy in Konoha, or if she should sacrifice her life for the good of her village. No. Kakashi lunges at Naruto, pulling the wide-brimmed collar. Obito recovers coincidentally just in time to see one teammate kill the other, beginning his descent into darkness. He abandons everything he ever cared about for the sake of achieving Madara's goal. Kakashi throws a fast and strong punch, raw with emotion. Naruto catches it without so much as a flinch. Guy and Sasuke are holding him back, but there are weapons pointed at him as well. Kakashi-sensei, I know this is hard. But remember that Naruto is in the position of Hokage right now. You can't just fly off the handle at him. Sasuke's strength strains in the face of Kakashi's anger as he tries to deter him without lethal force. You knew this whole time. Kakashi spits out. I should have been told from the start. He was my friend. And what would you have done with that information? Naruto asks, cool as can be. At no point in your life have you been as powerful as Obito was when he released the Kyuubi. He was responsible for the death of the Yondaime. You would have gotten yourself killed, and I don't much feel like explaining to Shizune that you died in the field to someone so out of your league that you're as a Jonan is to a cage. If I had it my way, you would have never known. I would have killed him already and you would continue living without losing a wink of sleep over it. This mess was founded by my clan, fostered by my clan, and it will continue to tear apart the world until I fix it. It's not about who's going to do anything about it. Kakashi makes an exerted noise of frustration. It's the secrets, Naruto. Maybe I can't do anything about it, but that doesn't mean that I don't deserve to know. And even more so, is that it's you that's keeping everything from me. You've always been my little brother, despite everything, but now with something this big about my life? How can I trust you? Sasuke doesn't think that anyone else sees the tiny movement on Naruto's face, one denoting something that he has never associated with Naruto before. Something uncertain, regretful, and maybe even emotionally frail. You and we're done. Until you learn to trust me, I don't want anything to do with you. Naruto's throat swallows clearly as Kakashi storms away. Shizune chases after him, giving a quick and uneasy look at Naruto as she does so. Go on, Guy. Naruto mutters softly. Your friend needs you. Guy does so without hesitation, bumping Naruto's shoulder in what may have been a gesture of comfort. I suppose you want an explanation? Naruto asks rhetorically, expecting a yes. Yeah, but I think you made a hard decision today. Sasuke shoots back. So why don't we just get everything you need done sorted now and I can get my explanation later? Muratabi chuckles really in his mind. You certainly have changed, Sasuke-kun. You're right, the village won't serve itself. Naruto agrees, shaking off the clearly uncomfortable nature of Kakashi's words to him. Naruto closes the door of the apartment behind him and makes a beeline for the shower. It's very late by the time he gets home, and the smell of cooking is fresh in his nose. Karen is fast asleep on the table, and Naruto feels exceedingly guilty on seeing her and the food she'd likely started preparing once she sensed his arrival back in Konoha. He pulls up the chair next to her, and the proximity probably sets off her senses enough to rouse her from her light sleep. Naru? Hey! Naruto wraps his arm around her when she immediately snuggles up to him. I'm sorry. Woo for being late. I should have let you know before I tended to everything. Karen raises her head off of him, looking slightly perturbed. Naru, we both know that shinobi crap can get crazy. I'm not mad or anything. Did something happen? Is it the Akatsuki? I failed. I couldn't stop the Akatsuki from taking the Ichibi. Now, they're going to be after Sasuke. Karen takes hold of his hands. You're just one man. You can't determine everything on your own. The world isn't going to stand still and wait for you to solve problems that shouldn't be yours alone in the first place. Chill, let your friends and Konoha help you out a bit. Hell, I'll even take your place on missions if you have stuff to do. And if they can't help you? So what? Get stronger. That's what your Ji-chan did, it's what your Ka-chan and To-chan did. If it worked for them, then it'll work for you. This woman is a blessing. She knows him in and out. Getting stir crazy? Naruto asks really. I miss traveling around with you, but I want you to know that you're not alone more. I'll see if I can get you a mission. You? What exactly are you gonna be able to do? The Senju does it. Karen asks tiredly, but still inquisitive. I'm kind of Hokage until Tsunade overcomes morning sickness. Cool. Don't worry, I sprayed and wiped the desk to get rid of any old people germs. Oh good. Shizune gently closes the door behind Guy as the three of them step foot in their home. Kakashi is visibly agitated, but he needs them, and does appreciate that Naruto let Guy go to help her out a bit. It's a very sad situation, and honestly, she doesn't blame Naruto one bit. Being raised by such a man as Madara is bound to have long-term, foundational skews to the way one looks at the world and personal matters. At the end of the day, Naruto made a tough call and risked hurting his friendship with Kakashi for the sake of the village. He's depending on the unity of Konoha, a Hokage-like trait. He has proven that he is not his grandfather at great cost. She knows that Kakashi will see things differently sooner or later, but he needs space from Naruto to figure out his feelings about the situation, and more importantly, he's alive. Kakashi whispers brokenly. A long-dead friend is apparently not so dead, and is acting as a mastermind behind a plan to change the world. Kakashi and Guy exchange heated words, and thankfully Minako is being babysat so she wouldn't have to hear her papa and his best friends argue so viciously. Guy, as boisterous as he is, does have a talent for not making things worse than they already are. She'll check on Naruto later, her grown-up little brother. But for now, her place is at her husband's side. I'm far too old for this. Jirai lays beside Tsunade in their bed. I know. Nagito has been twisted by this Obito? We speculate so, unless he's acting as his own double agent. Jirai rolls over and places a hand on Tsunade's belly. He closes his eyes. This is where my priorities are. But still. I know. She says nothing to the tiny teardrops that escape him. Over the next 2 weeks, Tsunade takes time to explain some of his duties that he hadn't figured out himself yet. He'd been more focused on the delegation of Anbu and internal security. It's gonna be nice having a break. Tsunade exaggerates a stretch, making a perhaps unintentional show of her breasts nearly popping out of her clothing. A hag like you shouldn't be so indecent. Naruto comments idly. Where do I put the mission reports? Your assistants will collect them every 4 hours and place them in one of the storage units. Tsunade gives a dirty look but obliges his question. Unless you tag them with a tassel, that means that the report involves an incident. Green tassels for minor occurrences like client complaints, blue for major incidents, red for total mission failure or any information that might be useful for an ongoing investigation. How long are these mission records kept? 10 years minimum, or indefinitely if it contains anything pertaining to an open investigation. Their conversation is cut short by a knock at the door. A head of red hair pokes in and Naruto smiles. Some brats are here for a mission. She announces boredly. Hey! Screw you lady. A boisterous voice protests being called brat. Tsunade smirks. You get some annoying ones right off the bat. Let's see your patience, Naruto. Naruto takes a deep breath as the grating voice of one particular Jinan permeates the office. Yo! One Sarutobi Konohamaru gives a jaunty wave, his shire teammates dogging his footsteps along with their sensei, Ebisu. Hokage-sama, Naruto-sama. Ebisu bows politely with his other students. Hey, why are you sitting in her chair? Konohamaru asks noisily. Naruto will be taking over my duties for a little while. I'm a bit ill and I need to be in good condition for an international conference that I'll be attending soon. Tsunade answers instead. I see, very well. Naruto-sama, we would like to pick up a mission. Ebisu accepts the temporary change easily. Good that you're here this early in the morning. We have some good D ranks that need to be taken up. Naruto pulls the rack with fresh missions over on the desk. Boo tilde. Konohamaru announces his displeasure and gives a thumbs down. Naruto ignores him and begins reading from a few scrolls. The communal gardens in the marketplace area need to have their ponds cleaned, along with the fountain pumps. Tora the cat is on the loose again. An elderly woman needs some home maintenance done in residential area B. No no and no. Give us a cooler mission. Konohamaru-kun. Ebisu chides. Your mission record isn't substantial enough that I can justify giving you a C rank. You have your pick of missions from these ones. Come on. How are we gonna get a good mission record if you don't put us on good missions? Your mission record includes your statistics as reported by your sensei. Your team works well together, but well enough for a potential life-risking mission if it goes wrong. Keep doing your D ranks and working hard, and you'll have your C rank in no time. Naruto explains boredly. We're not gonna get better if we don't do better missions. Konohamaru pouts. D rank missions are an essential part of Konoha's shinobi training system. D ranks not only teach young shinin to work together as a cohesive unit, but affords them time to catch up with their peers if they have been found lacking. In addition, shinobi that can stay on active duty past the age of 30 are a rare commodity. These missions teach shinin how to be normal and functional people when their ability to do missions weakens, so that they can still contribute to the village and look after themselves. To disrespect the D rank is a disrespect to those who need you to do them and yourself. To appear so weak that you can't even do something as simple as clean the gutters to an elderly shinobi's home that has earned their rest. Another knock on the door. Karen pokes her head in again. More runts waiting. Konohamaru crosses his arms petulantly. I'm not leaving until we get a cooler mission. You'll leave with a D rank, or I'll throw all of you out of the window without a mission at all. For emphasis, Tsunade casually opens one of the windows and enjoys the slight breeze that wafts through. We'll take Tora. Ebisu states decisively. Sensei. Very good. Naruto throws the scroll to him, hiding a smile. He remembers Team 7 being assigned Tora whenever Kakashi had been particularly annoyed with them. Good punishment for annoying students. He approves. No. Konohamaru freezes in place. Naruto makes a gesture with his hand, lifting a calligraphy brush with a juvenile use of his Rinnegan powers, and begins making a crude image on the boy's face. He sees Tsunade facepalm in the corner of his eye. The boy is released from his jutsu and immediately lunges red-faced while his teammates giggle. Ebisu grabs him by his scarf and drags him away. We'll return as soon as possible, Naruto-sama. Good luck. Naruto bids them. As soon as they're out and the next shinin shuffle in, Naruto pushes the intercom button and leans into the microphone. He puts on his mastermind voice. Kill them. Screams of panic erupt in the hallway from the shinin. The only thing that could be heard through the noise were Naruto and Tsunade's evil laughter and the jounin trying to calm his shinin. Karen barges in suddenly, looking very annoyed. This is so damn boring, I don't know why I volunteered to be your assistant. I want a mission. Let me see what I can do. Naruto shuffles the stacks of C ranks and B ranks. Wait your turn. Another impetulant shinin scolds. Gold chains sprout from Karen's back and twist around threateningly. The shinin promptly keeps his mouth shut. We've scheduled a protection mission to Yuki no Kuni. Commissioned by a movie director? To protect their lead actress. It'll be you, Sakura, a jounin called Yamato and Team Otto. How's that? Sounds divine. Karen sighs happily, wanting to get out and about for a change. Karen leaps over the desk and tackles Naruto to the floor. Be safe, Karen. It's a dangerous world out there right now, especially if you're marrying Uchiha Naruto. I will, don't you worry. You know I can handle myself. I know. Naruto sighs. It'll be nice to spend a week or so without my ball and chain. She cuts him off with a kiss. I love you. Karen whispers. I love you too. Naruto smiles back. Kin of Team Otto feels slightly weary when Naruto-sama's redhead girlfriend turns up at the front gates, looking perky and excited to rush out into the wilds. The twinkle in her eyes makes Team Otto entirely fearful. If this woman has learned anything from Uchiha Naruto, then she's probably a menace to work with. Got everything, Karen? Sakura asks the redhead, motioning to the small pouches of scrolls on her hips. Oh, yeah. Karen nods delightedly. Got my makeup, some lunches, shampoo, moisturizer, other unmentionables and some shopping money. Think I'm pretty set. Kin's jaw drops open, along with Sakura's. Excellent. At least one of you is prepared. Yamato Taiku seems to find humor in it, if his little smirk is anything to go by. Karen preens happily. Wait. Karen, you can't seriously have no equipment? I'm working with amateurs. What's the point in being a shinobi if you don't look good while you're doing it? Karen whirls on the spot to speak with the team captain. Are you sure we should have these three? I don't think they understand what it takes for a high-level mission like this. Oi, Makuten man. She beckons Yamato closer to whisper in his ear. Kin sharpens her hearing, a trait trained up in their time from Otto. An ear-bleeding whistle causes her to cut it off and cover her ears in agony. When her hearing returns, all she can hear is Karen's mocking laughter. They're never going to want to work with you again if you keep messing with them. Yamato chides. It's not about them. Karen flicks her hair dramatically. It's about me, and I say I want to have a fun mission. Save me now. Zaku mutters to her. Karen's face does go from mischievous to serious though, and there's a small puff of smoke from her wrist. A sword sits in her right hand. Team Otto all swallow deeply on seeing it. Don't think that just because I want to enjoy my time away from the village that I'm not taking this seriously. You know what this blade is, don't you, Otto Shinobi? You don't train with Uchiha Naruto for 3 years and not pick up any tricks of your own. Karen-san. Yamato addresses. I'm sure you're a capable shinobi, but I am the captain and I'll expect you to follow orders to work with us efficiently. I know. But you also know that there's another reason I'm going out and about, right? Karen reseals Kusanagi. Yes. We'll be deferring to you on all matters related to Jinchuriki and Baiju should the matter arise, however unlikely. Great. Karen clasps her hand together. So, where's the client? Today is the day everything changes. Neji thinks to himself. He hasn't told anyone about what he's bringing to Naruto, not even his father. Or Sakura, although he believes she may very well be aware that his own patience has grown thin. Something has to change in the Hyuga clan and he can't count on the people in it to be proactive about changing. He wants it though, so he'll make it happen. Sakura has a good heart and he admires her for it, but he doesn't want her getting caught in this if it all goes wrong. She has been a ray of light in his life ever since he approached her regarding the curse mark on his forehead, offering endless support and asking for nothing in return. The least he can do is keep her out of the mess that follows. The medical evidence he has collected is more than enough to point the finger at the Hyuga clan for their wrongdoings to their own branch house. Naruto has made it quite clear that might and maybe is not good enough, so he's had Sakura's research verified by several medics and doctors, and even Ieyashi-sensei, who was once Naruto's personal eye specialist, has concluded that the curse mark does have the potential to damage a dojutsu wielder's eyes on use. Bringing this forward could end badly, internally for the clan. But so be it. If he does nothing, then they will continue to suffer. But unlike Tsunade, who was content in letting clans police their own problems, Naruto appears to be the kind of person who wants Konoha to be as prepared as conceivably possible for the ongoing threat of the Akatsuki. He won't snub them for being an inferior clan, he would want every able-bodied person to be doing their utmost for their continued existence. And Neji knows how hard someone will fight to have freedom from fear. Naruto gets out of the Hokage's chair, given a slight moment of reprieve from the constant waves of mission delegation and intel reports. Blue eyes look up at him expectantly. Show me that you can do the Academy Jutsu. Fujita makes 2 clones, substitutes with a chair, and transforms into Naruto himself. I'm impressed. You've come a long way since I started training you. Naruto praises. The silver-haired boy beams up at him. Alright, I think you're about ready to learn how to discover your own talents. Everyone's chakra has unique traits that allow them to perform some feats easier than what might be considered average. Take Tsunade for example, she has a very strong affinity for medical ninjutsu, and she also has the ability to use lightning chakra. So there's something I'll be good at too? Fujita asks hopefully. That's right, but sometimes it's not always obvious what that might be. Some talents can only be realized once you try them a few times, but we'll get to that. Naruto pulls out a thick, square piece of paper. You've learned the absolute basics of ninjutsu, which means you now have a foundation to expand upon. The Academy Jutsu are something we define as supplementary ninjutsu, something that isn't necessarily offensive or defensive. Now, we're going to learn about nature transformation, and how to apply it to battle. Take this. It's just paper. Fujita looks up inquisitively. Chakra induction paper, Naruto corrects patiently. It was developed for the purpose of identifying the chakra nature of the person holding it. We'll find out what your elemental chakra nature is once you channel some into it. Give it a try. Aren't you really good at sensing? Won't you be able to just tell me what my chakra nature is? I could, Naruto admits. But the point of this is that if someday you need to test your own students, or your own students have students of their own, and if they aren't sensors, they'll be able to identify their chakra natures using this method. Fujita concentrates and pushes his chakra into the paper. It melts in his hands, the sagi remains slipping through his fingers. Your chakra nature is Suten. Just like Ji-sama. Your chakra nature is Makuten, right Naruto-sensei? Actually, I was born with two entirely different natures. Katen and Futon. But I developed more of them as I got older. Remember what I said, sometimes your talents aren't always obvious. But learning to use your chakra nature will be a good start. Are you gonna teach me Suten? Fujita asks quickly. Yes, but before I do, you need to understand the importance of where and when to use it. The truth is, you're not always going to have a source of water to draw from for your jutsu, and learning to create your own will be difficult. Maybe the most difficult part of your training so far. The terrain won't always be in your favor, so what should you do to prepare for that? Naruto words the question differently, but functionally the same as his grandfather did while training him. Don't rely on it all the time? Fujita responds, unsurely and questioning. That's right, but how? Fujita stops to think while Naruto picks up the soggy pieces of paper and disposes of them. I should learn to not rely on it? That's why you always tell me to master the basics? So I can fall back on other stuff I know in case my Suten doesn't work. Naruto grins and ruffles the silver spikes on the boy's head. Very astute. Well done. Fujita beams at him again. There's a knock at the door, breaking the peaceful little lesson. Enter. Naruto orders, and Shizune steps inside with Minako close behind. Oni-chan. Minako sprints and wraps around his legs. Demon child. Naruto scowls with purposeful exaggeration. Train me too. Minako demands imperiously. Naruto looks back to Shizune, who shrugs as if to say your call. Well, I was about to have a clone train Fujita, but if he doesn't mind then I suppose you can tag along too. Minako can train with us? Fujita seems quite eager for it in fact. From what the boy has said, Minako is quite kind-hearted to him despite her devilish nature that she'd seemingly got from Naruto himself. Of course. I may have a neat little trick that might be good for training the pair of you at the same time. Naruto makes a snake seal. Moku Bunshin no Jutsu wood clone, a small mass begins to emerge from Naruto's leg, taking the shape of a small human. The coloration does too. Fair skin, neck-length spiky black hair, and a pair of 3 Tomoe Sharingan glinting on a cocky visage. Ooh. Shizune coos almost hysterically. I forgot how cute you were at Minako's age. She pinches the cheeks of the child clone, making it pout. Nei-chan. Chibi Naruto protests loudly. Shizune bundles him up in a hug instantly. I made this Moku Bunshin to the exact strength and traits I had at your age. Naruto reveals to Fujita and Minako. It might be a good sparring partner for you. Minako hugs the clone. Let's go play. Train. Chibi Naruto corrects. Big Naruto wonders if he really sounded that petulant as a child. Go on, Fujita. My clone will teach you a Suten jutsu. Okay, bye-bye sensei. Bye Minako's Ka-chan. Have fun, Fujita-kun. Shizune waves him goodbye. Behave, Minako. The two children plus Moku Bunshin leave in a rush, and Shizune remains with Naruto. How's Kakashi? Are you okay? They ask each other at the same time, leading to a shared chuckle at their own expense. Kakashi. He'll bounce back, eventually. I'm sure he'll come back around, so don't worry Naruto. I don't blame you for your choices either. It was a lot simpler when I was just a kid following his GG's teachings. Naruto sighs tiredly. And it all made sense to you, and it still does. I know, Naruto. You can't just shake off years of foundational teachings, especially when they still serve you well. So don't worry, keep doing your thing. Naruto doesn't say anything to that. He knows that they serve him on a functional level, and well for the benefit of the village. But he really doesn't know what to do with this whole Kakashi situation. He can't ignore this forever, but he does have more important things to worry about right now. Namely, Akatsuki. What have you got for me, Shizune? You'll be glad to hear that you're done for the day. Shizune chirps pleasantly. You're not due to receive any word from other nations about the summit for a few weeks at least, and the Chunin are happy to do lower-level mission delegation. Unless something really important pops up, then it'd be good if you got some rest. Rest is the last thing on my mind right now. Naruto sits back in the chair. The intercom on the desk beeps. Naruto-sama, Hyuga Neji is here requesting a confidential meeting. Confidential? Naruto mutters. At least I have time for whatever it is. Sounds important. I'll see you soon, Naruto. Shizune waves him goodbye. See you, Shizune. Send Neji in on your way out for me. Neji enters holding a cardboard folder, packed so full that paper is practically spilling out of it. Naruto dono. Neji bows politely. Take a seat, Neji. Naruto gestures loosely to a chair. I hope I'm not intruding into your busy schedule. You came at a good time. My business is mostly done for the day. Now, what did you want? I want the laws regarding the use of the caged bird seal to be repealed entirely. Neji states, confidently blunt. Interesting. As far as I'm aware, the caged bird seal is generally regarded as a piece of Hyuga clan culture that is accepted by the people branded with it. It is only accepted out of fear of speaking out, Naruto dono. The legislation is also discriminatory against branch members of the Hyuga clan. No other clan in the village has such a law under the guise of bloodline protection. In addition, the cage bird seal has been verified to actively damper the capabilities of a Byakugan wielder who is branded with it. Naruto holds his hand up to stop him for a moment. Before we go on, this is a serious claim. I want you to understand that bringing this to light may poke the beehive. Actively hampering a shinobi's capabilities is something that cannot be ignored, but are you prepared on behalf of the Hyuga clan to stand by these claims, even if it causes distrust towards them for consciously choosing to use this seal? I am aware of any repercussions, and I accept responsibility for any and all consequences of this meeting. Naruto leans forward. Very well. Start from the beginning. Give me your assessment on this legislation, and the details on how the seal is affecting Hyuga shinobi. 1 week later, land of snow. Something's fishy. Karen wrinkles her nose up, the oppressive icy wind assaulting what little part of her face it could with how bundled up she is in warm clothes. That better not be an ocean pun. Sakura chides. It's just. Something here is messing with my ability to sense chakra. I should be able to detect ambient blank spots in the general location of someone trying to hide their chakra, but there's something dense and strong, covering a huge area. I can feel all of you because you're close, but there's something hiding by outputting chakra everywhere. Blending in by fogging up my senses. It could be a barrier. Yamato guesses. But regardless, we proceed with normal caution. Don't let your guard down before we dock. Look at this frigid tomb. A deep voice booms. Karen whirls around. Who said that? What? Sakura looks at her confusedly. There is no life in this wasteland. No hatred, but no love. No struggle, but no growth. I grow tired of this eternal contemplation. Tired of existing with no purpose. Didn't you hear that? I feel you, Uzumaki. Raking your senses across me. Trying to grasp something that you cannot begin to comprehend. Karen feels a strong headache pounding and tries to massage her head, not understanding what's happening. A trap for sensors? Dosu asks Yamato. It's not like anything I've seen before. Yamato keeps keen eyes on Karen. She's not under genjutsu, this is something different. Karen. Sakura bustles to her side quickly, making her sit down. You strain against my presence. But you will learn quickly enough. Come find me, Uzumaki. I would very much like to speak with you. Karen slowly fades out of consciousness, oblivious to her panicked teammates. Yamato storms up to Yuki Fujikaze's assistant, Sandeu. If you are hiding something from me, you will tell me right now. Sandeu reels back, stuttering as he replies. I don't know what you mean. Yamato takes none of it. Do you know who that red-haired woman is on my team? That's the future wife of Uchiha Naruto, who is not only our current acting Hokage, but quite possibly the most dangerous man alive. If he finds out that she got hurt or worse, he will stop at nothing to find out who was responsible, and if that means he has to crush every nation one brick at a time, he'll damn well do it. Do not lie to me. I lied about the contract. Sandeu blurts out. But I don't know why she fainted. I swear. You'll be paying triple the stipulated mission fee. Yamato tells, not asks. You will tell me every last detail you omitted from your request, and you will be waiting for us to investigate what exactly caused this chakra disturbance in her. Sandeu has no choice but to bumble his way through an explanation. Konohagakure, Hokage Tower. Have the clan heads been informed? Naruto asks through the intercom. Yes, Naruto-sama. Are you prepared for the meeting? I am. Please send Umino Iruka here to cover low-rank mission delegation, and Anbu Internal Affairs to escort the relevant medical specialists to the meeting chambers. Thank you. Of course, Naruto-sama. Naruto stands up and makes a swift and brief journey to the meeting hall. Neji is already waiting outside. Don't be so nervous, Neji. Present everything exactly as you did to me. I'll make sure there aren't any interruptions. I cannot help but be apprehensive, Naruto dono. I've worked hard to get this far, I don't want it to come crumbling down now. Neji straightens up his kimono. Wear some confidence. Fake it till you make it. Naruto is entirely unconcerned. Neji's report is pretty unflattering, and besides, the meeting isn't a vote. Naruto will be telling them how it's going to be, and that future attempts to engage in such obvious bullshittery will not be tolerated. They wait in the chambers for everyone to arrive, Naruto taking a seat in Tsunade's spot while Neji stays on the other side, ready to present numerous copies of his works for each clan head to go through. Soon enough everyone is present, although there is some grumbling from Shikaku, obviously not keen on being dragged away from some new napping location he'd found to escape his wife. Hyuga Hiyashi looks displeased as well, though an underlying apprehension mars his visage at the sight of Neji. Be seated. Naruto orders. Ordinarily, clan matters such as this would be sorted out in private. However, since I will be repealing a law that affects all of Konoha and replacing it today, your attendance is required so that if your clans have such proclivities, you'll be changing as well. That is among the list of things we'll be speaking about, and then afterwards I expect all of you to bring up the concerns you have too. Understood? The clan heads chorus. Firstly, we'll be discussing the legislation that brings discrimination to a sect of the Hyuga clan. It was institutionalized by the Sandaime Hokage and has only served to hinder some of the finest shinobi Konoha has to offer. The use of the caged bird seal was approved under the guise of bloodline protection but only serves to be detrimental to Konoha's forces. We have Hyuga Neji in attendance to present reports from doctors and medics that he commissioned to investigate the health effects of the seal, as well as said specialists to verify the concerns. Naruto leans forward, Rinnegan glaring ominously. I do not think it needs to be said that anything regarding active measures to sabotage Konoha's shinobi will be acted upon with prejudice. However, I will allow any party with vested interest in this topic to contribute their assessment of this legislation before doing so again at the end of this case when the research has been shared. Would anyone like to speak up? Hiyashi shoots out of his chair, expectantly. The caged bird seal is Hyuga clan tradition. To repeal the law that allows us to use it is an attack on our clan and culture. The seal prevents any enemy shinobi from stealing the Kekkei Genkai from those in the clan who do not have the talent or skill to keep it to themselves. It is only for Konoha's benefit that this legislation is in place, to stop the enemy from obtaining our bloodline. There are nods of agreement, given that it is a practical use of the seal. Naruto takes it in with a straight face. Hyuga Hiyashi has spoken, would anyone like to present an agreement or argument to the point? Neji stands up and makes his way to the guest lectern. Hiyashi Dono raises a valid point on the nature of Kekkei Genkai protection. Neji agrees, a slow straight-faced although Naruto knows it pains him to do so for the sake of a bureaucratic meeting. What Hiyashi Dono has omitted however, is that the caged bird seal is primarily used as a tool to force Hyuga branch members into submissive slavery. I have the research to prove that the torturous nature of the seal is extremely detrimental to anyone who has had it used on them. On the grounds of branch members being too weak to stop their Kekkei Genkai from falling into enemy hands, Hyuga clan culture dictates that the vast majority of branch members are to only operate as servants to the main branch, and do not have the opportunities to outgrow this culture on their own. With the removal of the seal and therein a removal of that innate fear of torture, Hyuga branch members can explore opportunities to become servants of Konoha as shinobi, or any other trade that benefits the village. Naruto nods, not giving an agreement to either side of the argument. Anything further? He asks the assembled clan heads. A small pause of silence gives him the message of no. Hyuga Neji, you stated that the caged bird seal is used as a method of torture and slavery, but you also stated that it has tangible effects on development in Hyuga shinobi. Explain your statements and provide evidence. Neji passes a stack of papers to one side of the room, and each clan head takes one, along with Naruto. According to shinobi medical specialist Haruno Sakura, on data collected by assessing 14 branch Hyuga members who frequently receive exposure to the seal, the subjects displayed optical nerve damage, which is verified by Iyashi-sensei, who is present here today. In addition, branch members are 10% to 300% more likely to experience seizures while engaging in active duty, verified with data collected from head neurologist in Konoha's hospital, who is also present. And finally, a Hyuga branch member is 800% more likely to suffer from severe depression before they're 30, verified by Yamanaka Inoiki. Inoiki stands up and stares down Hiyashi confidently. I stand by the research. I've been saying this for years along with the other specialists, but we have been consistently blocked from bringing it up to Konoha's council. Yes. Naruto cheers inwardly. Finally, I can chase up what Tsunade said. Blocked? Naruto interjects immediately. You will explain this to me later. But for now, I want everyone's attention on the matter at hand. Hiyashi visibly holds in his anger. I went over the data when it was presented to me at an earlier date, so my mind was made up before this meeting was announced. What you are here for is to understand that any action against Konoha's shinobi or even its civilians, will not be tolerated under any circumstance, no matter your clan. I hereby repeal the Bloodline Protection Act, of which has been used to marginalize a group of our finest. All Hyuga branch members are to report to me immediately to have the caged bird seal removed, permanently. If any Hyuga finds destitution as a result of my decision, the Uchiha clan will provide sponsorship for them until a time in which they can become independent members of our village. This matter is concluded. A writer for Konoha's newspaper rubs her hands together gleefully as Neji wails with joyous tears. Anbutaka is responsible for overseeing the former branch members move into the Uchiha compound as their temporary habitat until they can find their footing with this new freedom they've been given. Perhaps unsurprisingly, there wasn't a single one who wanted to stay with the main branch. His Sharingan assesses everyone that goes in from a rooftop he's perched on. They seem happy. Naruto says at his side, the soft breeze flicking his hair about. Of course, I don't want them here. But it's a hard situation and we need everyone working for the benefit of the village right now. Taka watches as Hinata and Neji spar in the training grounds. The meek girl cries in frustration at herself, and all Neji does is lift her up to try again. And again. Family is wonderful. Naruto says again. It's something that was taught to me by the matron at my orphanage. I didn't really know what it meant at the time, but I understand it after Karen, Kakashi, Shizune, Minako, you, and even my old man. Families will go to great lengths to protect each other, to rise above whatever comes their way. Of course, there are always bad apples. But can you see an idea like this and understand just how attractive this might be to a lonely orphan boy? I understand well, Naruto-sama. Taka replies formally. Sasuke, you're not fooling anyone with that stupid bird mask. Your hair and eyes stick out like a sore thumb. I get it, Naruto. I do. And it's not stupid. It's representative of the dismissal of my personal desires for Konoha's sake. Did they haze you and make you paint your own mask? Naruto interrupts jokingly, yes. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Taka is thankful that the mask hides his embarrassed face. Don't you have important Hokage crap to be doing right now? Taka grumbles. Yes. I suppose I should make an appearance for my super important meeting. I'll leave you be, but be on standby in case I need you. I have a feeling that it's going to be an interesting one. Naruto flitters away with nary a sound. Asshole. Taka mutters. You said you were being blocked from bringing your findings into the Hyuga clan to council meetings. Explain. Naruto orders Inoiki, who takes a seat alongside Nara Shikaku and Akimichi Kuuza. We believe that several clans were colluding for the sake of protecting each other, a secret alliance, but we couldn't prove it. We had circumstantial evidence at best. Inoiki states evenly. Shikaku straightens and picks it up. It hasn't reared its head in a while, since Tsunade-sama took position as Hokage, but it was always the same clans being bailed out when they caused trouble. Sandaime-sama was very overt with it during his rule. Whenever Uchiha Fugaku tried to bring attention to criminal behavior during his time as head of the Uchiha police force, Sarutobi would always deny the happenings or pass them off as shinobi simply unwinding after difficult missions. Even the worst offenses would be passed over as nothing unless public scrutiny was too strong, and that included crimes such as murder in rare occasions or sexual assault being more common than that. The process for bringing this to the attention of the council was and is still too slow, unless you have a friend in a high place like Hyuga Neji did. The reports have to find their way through too many people, some of those people having sympathies and biases towards certain clans. I see. And you believe that this continues to affect the process of the judicial system when it comes to shinobi crime? Naruto tries for further clarification. Yes, Naruto Dono. Kuuza confirms. Members of the Akimichi clan have found that discriminatory crimes and assaults were often ignored, but only when the accused were from a small list of clans. Tsunade-sama has had her hands full cleaning up Danzo's mess, so she hasn't been afforded the time to look into this. And what is the consensus between the three of you? Which clans do you believe to be colluding and obstructing justice, and do you believe that your clans are being targeted with this? Shikaku shares a look with the other two. We looked into it as best we could, collecting information from as many different clans as were willing to participate into our search for figuring out what was going on, and across the board we found that the Sarutobi clan, the Hyuga clan, the Shimura clan, along with Sarutobi's two advisors who were on his Jonan team, all have a dramatic over-representation in Konoha's judicial system. Everyone who tries to take action against these three clans find that their claims get lost in the works. This happens to us, but even we're able to slowly work our way up the ladder in those occupations. The only two clans that were completely excluded from even participating were the Uchiha and Sanju, because the higher-ups of these systems seemingly didn't want them there. We couldn't figure out why that made sense. Inoiki comments. Only one exception to these examples was ever made though. I was the one who did Uchiha Itachi's first psychological evaluation when Sarutobi recommended him for Anbu. I found that Itachi's behavior was too unpredictable, but Sarutobi sponsored him to get through to the next stage. Hatake Kakashi refused it anyway. Naruto interlocks his fingers and stares at the three of them. You have told me nothing I didn't already know. But you bringing this to my attention has provided me a reason to look into it using Konoha's resources. If I act on these accusations and investigate, are the three of you willing to provide a statement should anything suspicious be found, and that you prompted me to look into it? Yes, Naruto Dono. The three agree readily. You are not to speak a word of this meeting to a single soul. Am I understood? Understood. Good. You are dismissed. The three clan heads leave, and Naruto lets out a high-pitched whistle. A Nanbu appears before him. Gather your team. I have an S-rank internal affairs mission for you. Karen veers off the path again, trying to follow the calling of the strange voice. Off into the storm of white mist, and how easy it would be to get lost. Idiot. Princess Koyuki spits out. Only death is out there. You wanna die all alone? No, that's what you're gonna do when people realize what a shriveled old slag you are. Karen returns fire but doesn't turn to face her. She's entranced by the powerful sensation in the wastes. Karen, try to concentrate. Stop sensing over there. Yamato tries to persuade. Will you walk into my parlor? Or will I have to reveal myself to you? It says it's gonna come here. Karen rubs her forehead. Yamato turns to the rest of the squad. We'll set up camp here with the film crew for tonight. The storm is getting bad. He turns back, only to find Karen missing. For she ventures into the snow, following the increasingly powerful chakra. The closer she gets, the less widespread the sensation becomes. It starts to become a singularity of pure power, so massive that even Naruto barely matches it when it comes to density. But unlike Naruto's chakra, this feels so dark. Karen stops. Well? I'm here. Amusing, that the person to find me would happen to be cut from the same cloth as the one who lost me. There is a gold glow before her eyes, and the heat melts the frost from her goggles. She takes them off to stop the fogging, and the wind that begins to whip around feels warm and even pleasant. As the wind clears the fog away, the mound of snow before her begins to avalanche back. Orange fills nearly the entirety of her vision, a massive cocoon like a flower bud unfurls slightly before expanding and launching a gale so strong that the snowy fog blasts away, leaving a moonlit sky and a clear picture of just what was calling her here. Two slitted red eyes peer down at her in front of 9, swishing tails. You finally grace me with your presence. Kyubi. Karen mutters in shock. I see that you understand what I am, you moron. Karen screams at him. Why reveal yourself now? There are psychos scattered across the world trying to capture you and all of the other Baiju, and when they do, that Ju-Ubi monster will return to destroy everything. The Kyubi outright laughs at her, a harrowing echo that rattles her bones. You're just like Kushina. Either too stupid or too brave to stay her tongue. I mean it. Now everyone is gonna know. And pray tell, what makes you think I didn't want this? Karen stops her berating of the Kyubi. I felt it when Shukaku vanished. My connection to the natural chakra of the world helped me understand what happened. The pieces are in motion. There is a wielder of the Rinnegan trying to become the Ju-Ubi Jinchuriki, and the only thing I can do now is to fight that fate. You could have fought it by just staying hidden. Karen tries to reason. The Gedomazo does not discriminate with how much of us it needs. It grows ever more powerful with our entire essence, but natural energy will replace what it needs so long as it has but a mere piece of our power. It may be slow, but it still works. You will find that our power can be found everywhere in this world, and your human practice of turning yourselves into our hosts has only made it easier for them to take the less expedient route. It will not matter if I choose to hide, there will still be a way. But it is time that I returned so that the vision of this world my father had, that dream, will not be extinguished. And if I have to stand by the sides of those who fear and abuse my power, then so be it. Your father. The Rikudo Sennin? The Kyubi growls affirmatively. He was naive about the nature of man. He could not truly understand humans as he understood us, not even his own sons. But he was right about one thing, if nothing else. Only cooperation can overcome the greatest of strife. So, what? You're gonna join the fight? Karen asks, maybe feeling slightly hopeful that they would have another ally that isn't just one superpowered man. I will, but with one condition. The QB confirms. I want to follow in the path of my father. A true union between humans and Baijiu brings out the vast potential of both. Neither can be as strong without the other. I am willing to try for the first time, the power of our own motivations, be they hate or love. We can only overcome this conflict together. Its red eyes look down upon her. And you are powerful enough to handle it. You say that now, but my fiancé is Uchiha Naruto, Kushina's son and grandson of Uchiha Madara. Does Uchiha Naruto fight with all his power against the destruction of the world? Karen swallows, understanding that the QB has already made its mind up. He does. He's doing everything he possibly can to fix Madara's mistakes. Then you and I will fight, side by side with him. What is your name? The QB clenches his paw and puts it out, expecting the same gesture in return apparently. Uzumaki Karen. She puts her fist out. Be honored, Uzumaki Karen. You are the first human to ever hear my name. Kurama. Golden chains sprout from her back and wrap around Kurama. Haki no Fun Shiki. Fun. Kurama begins to dissolve into chakra, wafting through the air into crimson stars that spiral into a single point, a whirlpool crashing into Karen's stomach. What is that? Sakura looks at the pretty fountain of red lights in the distance. I can't see from here, but that's the direction Karen went. Yamato discerns. Timato, stay with the client. Got it. Yamato and Sakura approach cautiously as the last of the lights enter Karen's stomach. Karen collapses backward into the snow. Sakura sprints to make sure she's alright. Oh my. She looks at the seal on Karen's exposed stomach. What have you done, woman? Yamato touches the Haki no Fun Shiki. Karen's eyes open, revealing blood-red crimson slits. Don't touch that. Her body is getting used to my chakra. She'll be back as soon as she's ready. Yamato reels back and creates wooden pillars to surround Karen. Your use of this jutsu is juvenile compared to Hashirama. Karen/stranger flicks her hand and blasts Yamato and the pillars away. Who are you? Sakura asks fearfully. I am the QB. Do not worry for your friend, her mind is resting while I have the reins. Tsunade thinks Naruto has quite the talent for delegation. Feeling good, she decides to pay him a visit to make sure things are running as smooth as they seem. It seems likely that Naruto would be giving assignments left and right if it only meant he would have a bit of time to himself for training. All in all, besides grumbling from the Hyuga clan she'd yet to investigate, it's been a nice holiday. Naruto seems to be doing very well. She approaches the office door when Naruto's voice booms through the building. What the hell have you done, Karen? Oh dear. Entering without a knock, she spots Naruto pacing around the room. What's happened? What's the panic about? Tsunade questions, seeing no one else in the room. He turns to face her, but there's something different about his visage. His Rinnegan glint brilliantly, but there are markings under his eyes. Resting under them are two halves of a split, black leaf. She understands what the pigment signifies, and she knows that it has magnified his already insane sensing power, and he has obviously felt something that has left him disturbed with his beloved. She just turned herself into the Jinchuriki of the QB. Tsunade turns on her heel and goes back home. Nope. This is Naruto's mess to deal with. Jirai visits Naruto in the Hokage office out of boredom. With other hands on his spy network, he has been left with much free time to do with as he pleases. Putting up with Tsunade's mood swings is not something he'd been keen on today, and with his apprentice out and about doing super secret stuff, he thought he'd stop in and pay his godson a visit. It's always interesting when Naruto brings up something that he doesn't often think about. Sure, he does give a lot of thought to the ideal of peace, but the nature of chakra itself and folklore of their shared power is something that is usually just accepted as much as the sky is blue. Do you ever wonder why exactly Jinchuriki are so feared? Naruto asks, expression pensive as he languidly rests his feet on the desk. Jirai blinks. I thought you of all people would already know. The strength of chakra magnifies the existing abilities of a talented shinobi. Just imagine what you could do if you had a Baijiu sealed inside of you. Ah, but that's just it. Enhanced abilities can still be defeated with sound tactics and strategy, and I have yet to see Sasuke prove that he can use the Nibi's power to do anything that can defeat me. And believe me, I know that Sasuke is no joke as far as elite shinobi go. No, what has my attention now is that it's either multiplying the threat level of this person a few times, or just an outright transformation into a Baijuo. Granted, both are powerful traits to have in combat, but not undefeatable. Shinobi skills have advanced so much in the past few hundred years. Fuinjutsu, large-scale elemental ninjutsu, specially tailored jutsu that are designed for use against summons or in the worst-case scenario, a baijuo. What good does fearing a jinchuriki do in the modern age when we have tools to keep them in line? Fear isn't easy to ignore for the people who don't have those tools. And they won't always be available anyway. It takes time and effort to prepare for fighting a jinchuriki. When one pops up in the middle of a battlefield or a mission, then of course anyone on their bad side is gonna be scared shitless. Not everyone can approach combat like you do, I suppose. Naruto utters, seemingly dissatisfied. What's on your mind, kiddo? Naruto leans back in the chair further, looking up at the ceiling. The Baiju'u have a terrifying mythology built around them by humans. But there are still exceptional humans every now and then that can very easily defeat one or rend one under their control externally, without being a jinchuriki. Just look at Madara and Hashirama. The first Kazekage. The Sannin. Uchiha Naori, Uzumaki Ashina, Uchiha Obito, Uzumaki Nagato. Me. And there are still people who can overcome their power. But they are fragments of something divine and primal. A Baiju'u should be far, far more powerful. It has me thinking about the nature of chakra and the Rikudo Sennin again. Jiraiya relaxes as well, but still listens intently. He does so like a good story about the folklore of Shinobi. I had a discussion with Sasuke about a relic that used to be in the possession of the Uchiha clan. I had interpreted the message as an explanation behind the curse of hatred in the Uchiha, an inborn weakness that was easily exploited. I believe that the Rikudo Sennin had deliberately split his power into two halves so that the one who inherited his eyes would be forced to cooperate with the other if they wanted to change the world. Instead, it set off a 1,000-year blood feud that nearly annihilated two clans as they struggled for power, and as they lost love, they grew to hate even more. It became their defining trait that people could recognize them by. The sage believed so much in the power of cooperation that he had been willing to bet his children's lives on it, that he would divide his power completely instead of diluting it. Flawed humans with a power out of reach for normal people. Jiraiya is patient, feeling that he might be missing some context but is willing to hear Naruto out. The Rikudo Sennin's religion of Ninshu, in which he was God, was spread across the world by the man himself in the advent of humans gaining the ability to use chakra. He taught people how to cooperate, and his religion became a contagious culture that still persists 1,000 years later. Every person understands that without the help of others, they can't get far. Sure, people understand and respect individual merit where it's due, but functionally, chakra in a single person can only get so strong and can only be so effective against a cohesive unit of powerful people working together. Teamwork, a founding principle of Konoha's shinobi system. Strategy, and self-preservation tactics to overcome conflicts and tribulations. Chakra natures blend, people share it where they can, help each other where they can, but it's most often used as a tool for war. A grim nod from Jiraiya is his agreement. Chakra is a tool far greater than any blade, shield, and wall. But people don't get along so well as their chakra does. All chakra comes from the same source, and is fermented and expanded by nature's own gifts. This is why it is possible to affect another person's chakra with your own. As in the case of medical ninjutsu and genjutsu, we perceive it as different, but it all comes from the same place, and given to us by a design that was beyond evolutionary. It was shared to become a device to bring people together, not pit them against each other. All chakra is compatible, there's no fitting a round peg into a square hole. It's all the same. It is through a base instinct that we understand that even if we do not like who we work with, we are significantly more powerful when working alongside them. And is that so bad? Yeah, we all have people and things we don't like, but as long as that instinct is there, then surely there's a hope for peace? Jiraiya reasons, but is waved off dismissively by Naruto. The discussion of peace is something that doesn't interest me. No, what I'm curious about is how the Baiju'u fit into this system that we believe grew organically. With the exceptions of incompatible people, Baiju'u chakra can significantly magnify a shinobi's power. That seems quite simple, given that the Baiju'u are entities created by the Rikudo Sennin. Someone as fanatical about peace through cooperation as he was. I believe that the unification of chakra between humans and Baiju'u has a depth that has yet to be tapped, and what we have seen so far is merely the tip of the iceberg. Naruto leans forward this time, eyes gleaming. If such a theoretical powerful state exists, then maybe an opposing theory is viable too. A separation of one's own chakra from that of other people's, and a spiritual and physical consolidation with one's own chakra. A kind of enlightenment for people who believe that they should have the power and agency to be able to do things on their own without relying on other people or entities. Don't you just find it fascinating? Still trying to do everything on your own. Jiraiya shakes his head exasperatedly. Some of the theory goes over even his head, but Jiraiya still feels not much will come of this. Naruto would only get more curious if he said it probably wasn't possible, better for him to figure things out on his own. But what if? Naruto ponders aloud. That was the point? Perhaps the Rikudo wanted people to outgrow his teachings on their own. To forge their own paths and break free of fate on their own terms. Maybe this is all intentional and he made this system intelligently for goals that we can't perceive yet. I think Jiraiya leans forward in the creaky chair. That you have too much time on your hands. Should have known you wouldn't understand, geezer. I'm not being disparaging, kiddo, it just reminds me of your dad that you're so into your chakra theory and research. But you've been cooped up in here for a while. How about we escape for a bit? Get some lunch, maybe spar a bit? Doesn't look like you've got anything else to satiate your boredom. Is a man your age really up to the task? Naruto asks with a mockingly contemplative expression. Jiraiya grins. Tsunade told me you have a new trick. A Senjutsu battle. Let's see if you have the natural intuition to get the best of me. Naruto rises, looking eager. Let's see if you're all talk, old man. I'm looking forward to wiping that smug smile off your face, brat. Either without much thought or much care, neither paid attention to the secretary rubbing her hands together. Two heroes of Konoha stand opposite each other. Jiraiya with his hands in an unusual looping seal in front of his belly, and Naruto with his hands simply clapped together. They're just standing still. Minako pouts. Maybe it's some unspoken rule between sages. Paying respect? Some kind of honor tradition? Shizune guesses uncertainly. They aren't the only ones gathered. After word got out that Naruto and Jiraiya were going to have a Senjutsu battle, dozens of shinobi rushed to find them. Some just for the spectacle, and others because the Hokage's secretary had elected to start a betting pool. Off-duty members of the Barrier Corps turn up immediately, a good sign of initiative on their part. The Doden-wielding shinobi in the crowd using their chakra to create a stadium cradle is a bit over the top, but Shizune guesses that boredom is a strong motivator. Grandstands are built separately in conjunction with the Barrier Corps. Rather than limiting the fighting area with one large barrier, they elect to create smaller stands with protection surrounding each one. Shizune spots another mop of silver hair. Oh look, Fujita-kun is here too. Wanna say hi to your friend? Minako is already running off before she can finish her sentence. Oh good, Shizune sighs, not wanting to be a bad influence. She turns to the bookie. 20,000 Ryo on Naruto. What are you up to? Naruto can feel natural chakra coalescing around anything but himself, but Jiraiya seems to still be controlling a massive amount of his own. Does he have some different method? Naruto refocuses and continues to absorb energy. This wouldn't do. Entering sage mode takes far too long. Finally, he feels the balance in his energies and nature. Done yet, old man? Naruto taunts cockily. Jiraiya opens his eyes and grins back. He bites his thumbs and wipes blood down his eyes. Just waiting on you, brat. Two huge plumes of white smoke erupt on his broad shoulders, mystifying Naruto. All that waiting for a summoning? Only the amount of chakra used doesn't match up to the small creatures Jiraiya brought forth. When the smoke clears, Naruto sees two creepy toads perched on each shoulder. I was in the middle of making lunch, you dumb brat. Go easy on him, ma. Jiraiya-chan hasn't seen us in so long. He probably missed ya. Ma, Pennsylvania, sorry to inconvenience you. Was got you riled up, Jiraiya-chan? Look right in front of you. The toads ma and pa do exactly that, eyes popping out clearly as they take sight of the confuddled Naruto. The Rinnegan. Pa exclaims in shock. He's using Senjutsu chakra, pa. Jiraiya-chan, this man, he's not an enemy. Jiraiya shakes his head, and Naruto notices his enlarged nose riddled with warts and misshapen eyes. This is Minato's son, Naruto. I'm sorry to say that if I didn't summon you for this spar, he'd wipe the floor with me. Minato-chan's little boy? Pa asks excitedly. With those sacred eyes? What a marvel. Pish-posh. So what if he has some creepy eyes? Ya took me away from lunch. You're one to talk for having creepy eyes, frog hag. Naruto provokes, seeing that she probably wouldn't cooperate with Jiraiya unless he pissed her off. You're as disrespectful as your mother, stupid brat. Now ma, the boy is just confused. Let's introduce ourselves. Naruto vanishes in a blue of motion, ground shattering in the wake of his dash. His entire body twists for maximum output and is punched straight to Jiraiya's face. There is a gust of wind behind Jiraiya, but all the man does is catch the fist. Naruto is surprised to say the least. That punch should have sent Jiraiya flying. Enhanced sensory perception, Enhanced speed and strength. You don't think this is all Shinjutsu is capable of, do you, Naruto? Let me show you the power of Jiraiya the Gallant, the Toad Sage. Jiraiya whips Naruto's arm up and sends a kick to his stomach. Naruto leaps up to whirlwind his own kick at Jiraiya's head, but he is brought down to the ground again by a pressure that he doesn't see. Jiraiya's kick doesn't land, but it still makes a shockwave so strong that spittle flies from his mouth as he gets sent away 100 feet. Naruto scrapes along the harsh ground before flipping back onto his feet, readying himself again. I'm positive I dodged that. Can he replicate his punches in any direction using Shinjutsu? No, it felt like a punch that split off from his fist. His taijutsu is tailored to match the power of Toad-style Shinjutsu. Spectators look on as Naruto cartwheels back onto his feet and into a more grounded and ready stance. What the hell? Kiba asks aloud in shock. Indeed. Neji looks on with wide, pale eyes. Jiraiya-sama is not to be underestimated, even at this age. Even still, I wouldn't underestimate Naruto-sama. He's Ashi adds. We have seen him adapt to difficult situations before. I wouldn't put it past him to identify just how Jiraiya-sama did that without hitting him. I, for one, didn't see anything. Neji looks thoughtful, however. Perhaps there is more to this spar than we can perceive anyway. Shinjutsu is supposedly legendary. Naruto doesn't hesitate, eager to gauge Jiraiya's skill and feeling the thrill of a potentially difficult fight for a change. He breaks out into a sprint, and he blurs into motion, enhanced by the power of his Sage Mode. Jiraiya sees it coming or feels it and his stance changes. Naruto catches a punch by wedging it between his hands, rather than deflecting. Jiraiya tries for an open palm strike, intercepted again with the younger man jamming his foot into the palm. I see now. Naruto grins, wide and wild. Interrupting the movement stops the invisible Shinjutsu strikes from splitting off. He goes for his initial strike again, whirling into an axe kick that pelts Jiraiya straight in his head with enough force to shatter the solid ground beneath him. Unsurprisingly though, Jiraiya braced himself for it. As powerful as the kick was, one hit wouldn't be enough against another sage. The eruption of dust is kicked around more by spears of long, sharp white hair swishing around and smashing through any rock in its way. Realize you can't win with taijutsu? Naruto ducks and weaves narrowly. His coat gets nicked more than once, but the dodges are precise and not a strand touches his body. Taijutsu is one thing, Jiraiya strikes a mighty pose. But let's see you add everything together. It's not really fair to use the Rinnegan. The old man is giving it his all, he wants to have fun just as much as I do. Jiraiya and the toads clap their hands in unison. Senpu, Goemon Sage Art, Bath of Boiling Oil. 3 jutsu combine to make a tsunami of boiling oil, so packed with heat that it glows white. Naruto observes the wave, crashing and burning anything it came into contact with. He could feel the heat as the landscape changed, getting closer and putting the battlefield advantage in Jiraiya's favor. But what makes it Senpu? Is it only possible by using natural energy? The wave should be spreading out, but it's behaving as if guided. No matter how much it tides and surges, it's still coming towards him. Shinjutsu chakra isn't a flat power boost, it grants control over the jutsu to a level that isn't feasible for normal people. For people with fine chakra control, it would be a linear boost in chakra strength. Even still, Naruto wants to know just how much this will affect his own ninjutsu and genjutsu. He's letting me work it out on my own when he could be pushing for the advantage. You really are a good teacher, Jiraiya. Let me give it a try. Naruto doesn't weave a sign, but inhales a large breath. Senpu, Futon Daitapa Sage Art, Wind Release Great Breakthrough. Even Naruto didn't expect the sheer concussive power of the stream of wind that launched from his mouth, but batting the boiling oil away wouldn't be effective. He concentrates and splits the burning sea with his jutsu straight down the middle and gets ready to send some katen down the passage. If only Jiraiya made it that easy. As soon as the oil parted, sound waves that sounded like the croaking of frogs began to disorient him. Genjutsu. Naruto realizes. If he stops the futon stream then the oil will get him, but he can't resist the genjutsu forever while already concentrating. He feels like his brain is rattling around in his skull, but he focuses enough to remember that Kabuto used a sound jutsu with his own Sage Mode. Jiraiya is using it now in conjunction with frog croaking, Kabuto used a deployable light, and Tsunade uses whistling to attract her Anbu. The latter seems like his only option to expand on, given that he doesn't have summons. And what is more powerful than a whistle? He claps his hands together, movement extremely shaky as he drags more air in through his nose and gritted teeth. Senpu, Hitoi him a terrible scream. His roar echoes through the passage like the call of a vicious beast, hammering sound into sound. The ground quakes as his voice screams across the landscape. Sacrificing the potential of genjutsu for the power of sound waves, Jiraiya and the Toad's jutsu has little effect in the face of pure force. The oil that had been split away sinks into the earth, slowly dispersing into natural energy, although the lingering heat and hot wet patches still pose a hazard. Naruto's successful use of Shinjutsu emboldens him, and he tries another on the spot with what he just learned. Senpu, Katen Yoki no Uda Sage Art, Fire Release Jolly Song. As one might blow out a ring of smoke from a cigarette, Naruto does the same with fire. The large halo of flame emits a pleasant note, unchanging while it soars through the air towards Jiraiya. Naruto feels his remaining Shinjutsu chakra slip out of his body. The light is out of Sage Mode. Pa comments. Naruto-chan learned this on his own? Yep, I don't know how, but he figured it out. Still, let's see how he does now. Ya still gonna fight him? You just might hurt him. Ma frets, seemingly having calmed down, and comes around to the idea of testing Minato's boy. Don't let him fool you. Shinjutsu or not, he's the most dangerous man in Konoha. We can't go easy on him for a second now, not while he's plotting to find an easy way back into Sage Mode. I let him get a feel for it, but it's time to turn it up a bit. The ring of fire is moving too quickly at them to give it much thought. Jiraiya waves his palms out, causing the ground shake and an earthen wall to form between them. As if like a fungal growth, the insides of a toad's fireproof stomach emerge on the defensive barricade. They collide, and instead of fizzling out like Jiraiya had expected, the ring expands with violent force and severs everything in a burning wave, a small blast radius but ridiculously powerful, and the cataclysmic sound left in its wake made Jiraiya want to cover his ears. He feels Naruto sprinting at him, full speed. Naruto-chan ain't gonna hold back. Ma sees the change in Naruto's demeanor. Naruto dances around Jiraiya's rapid punches and kicks, intercepting when he knows Jiraiya is going to use the invisible attacks of his Shinjutsu. He grabs Jiraiya's arm and does a side-on cartwheel to avoid a deadly pressurized stream of water, cutting into the landscape and swiping off the tattered sleeve of Naruto's coat. Mid-roll, he hefts Jiraiya up off the ground with impressive strength and moves to slam him headfirst into the dirt. Just as Jiraiya is about to crash, the ground turns to mud and Jiraiya sinks into it. He's not going to exit Sage Mode, not with those toads helping him. I need to get back in as soon as possible. He really is a master of ninjutsu. But he's figured out how to absorb Shinjutsu chakra before, not just through his own stillness. Humans can't absorb natural energy on the move, but a certain kind of ninjutsu can. Mokuryu no Jutsu Wood Dragon. His wood dragon wiggles out of the ground and dives into the muck, following the toad sage. The ambient natural energy coming off of Jiraiya feeds the dragon, and transfers Shinjutsu chakra to Naruto, but not nearly enough to re-enter Sage Mode. But while the old man is distracted, he can take better measures. Moku Bunshin no Jutsu Wood Clone. An exact copy of him crawls out of his skin, and they both run in different directions. Jiraiya decides to come and dance at last, no doubt having sensed that Naruto's chakra has split slightly. The real Naruto engages with Jiraiya again, and the flurry of attacks leave the spectators amazed at the level of combat they're capable of. Even with Shinjutsu, you can't hope to match the power of my chakra. You're gonna burn out eventually. Naruto jumps onto the wood dragon, riding it up and sending a veritable shower of fireballs down at Jiraiya. Don't go talking smack so soon. I was a sage before you were in diapers. You didn't tell me he had the Makuten, Jiraiya-chan. Not now, Ma. The constant transmission of Shinjutsu chakra from his wooden clone is making him cocky, so he tries to reel in his ego before he ends up embarrassing himself in front of an audience. Jiraiya's chakra begins to manifest in his palm, a luscious and brilliant green rapidly turning into the dangerous and oversized whirl of a Rasengan. Naruto feels the powerful energies of nature re-enter his body in full. His own light blue chakra, sparkling like starlight, does the same. I'm proud of you, Naruto. Jiraiya smiles nostalgically. I'm proud of myself too, Jiraiya. Naruto grins. Chodama Rasengan. Jiraiya groans, waking from a deep sleep but feeling exhausted. Did I win? Is his first question. Tsunade whacks him over the head with a clipboard. No, you idiot. In fact, the pair of you are idiots. You completely destroyed the training grounds and shredded the barriers of our most skilled core members. Shit. Jiraiya tries to leap out of the bed and falls flat on his face. Relax, no one got injured. Besides the two of you, that is. We didn't ask for anyone to watch us. Don't these people have anything better to do with their time? Seriously, in our day chakra burns all up your right arm. Bruises everywhere, cracked ribs and severe concussion, Jiraiya. That's what I had to heal with you. Tsunade interrupts, voice clipped and clearly displeased. Jiraiya nearly cows at the tone. He would pay for this, but... Is Naruto alright? Jiraiya asks hesitantly. Oh yeah, he's fine. Got the same injuries you did, minus concussion. He just walked it off for a few minutes and he was good as new. Lucky brat. Jiraiya groans on the floor. Oh yeah, he's lucky. Karen doesn't have to worry about losing him to his own stupidity. You on the other hand, have a very angry and pregnant wife that doesn't want to raise her baby alone. Aw, shit. Sasuke and Madatabi meditate and speak with each other in their sealscape. On the outside however, it appears that he's just passed out on Himari and Yaito's couch with Tsukimi sprawled out over his stomach, in equally deep sleep. Both of them are oblivious to the parents cooing over them with a camera. Do you feel that you are making progress, Sasuke-kun? I didn't expect a cure for my fear of what Itachi can still do, but I'm not dissatisfied. I'm definitely working towards what I want, a safer Konoha. It might not be my brother yet, but still enemies that pose a threat to my people. Still, I wonder just how long it will take for me to get to a level that I can feel truly confident that I'll be able to protect what I want without fear. Sasuke is laying down in the sealscape too, looking up at Madatabi as she rests languidly. Her heterochromic eyes look down at him with patience and understanding. Why do you help me, Madatabi? Sasuke asks, truly curious as to her motivations. Now isn't that a complicated question? What brings this on, Sasuke-kun? I'm trying to understand you. What do you really get out of being my partner in battle, and my therapist on the side? Foo. I will tell you that it's nothing too complicated. I simply enjoy watching your growth, dear child. You are becoming an admirable man, worthy of respect. You should carry yourself with the dignity you have earned. But that is but one reason. Part of my desire to synchronize with you completely is selfish. You could not understand this as a mortal, but I simply do not get tired of living. I love humans, I love our conversations, I love the things we can do together, and it is my desire that I live out eternity without regret of never having made the most of my time with your species. Madatabi's fiery fur skates across his body, leaving no burn. I do not wish to die. I have helped countless humans do great and terrible things, and perhaps I am part of the reason why my kind is so feared. But I made those choices, I have the power to decide what I do with this immortal life. That is something that I am thankful for to my father. And I hope that one day, perhaps you, or perhaps another, will truly become one with me. I want to reach my absolute best. Is this not a natural desire in humans as well? Do you think it's possible? For a human and a Baijiu to truly reach that level together? If you can think of something better for me to strive towards, do let me know. But do not give it so much thought, Sasuke-kun. My desires are hardly ominous. I truly do not want much, only to live happily on my terms. Sometimes that is too much to ask for. I mean, what if you could enter Mugen Tsukuyomi? Madatabi is silent for a moment. Merely an addictive temptation. Such thoughts take us away from living happily in the now. I want my happiness to be a result of my own efforts, not to have them handed to me. Life is full of miseries and mishaps, but it is our suffering that gives meaning to the joys we can experience. One might say my goal is as a gardener. To whittle away which poisons the fulfillment of many others. That is what you do now, Sasuke-kun. Our union can let others experience more joy than they would have if we don't do dirty work. Necessary evil. Sasuke says aloud, not liking the phrase. But it brings up questions about his life up until now. What if he has the best possible outcome already? That perhaps others enacted necessary evil to bring him happiness. Maybe there is more to his life than he thinks. And maybe he needs to understand just what people have sacrificed for him. Karen is asleep in the ship taking their team home, still adjusting the heavy chakra now cradled in her body. Can you stop thinking about how your Uchiha is going to molest you when you return home? I'm going to be sick. Stop reading my thoughts then, you overgrown furball. You're trying to suppress me too much. Let my chakra merge with yours, it'll be less painful for the both of us. Wait, it hurts you? Your control is slipping in your efforts to keep me down to mitigate your physical pain. Your concentration is focused too much on something you don't need to do when my chakra will heal you quicker, and it's letting your emotions bleed through our connection. My pain is mental, from witnessing the horrid things you two do in that bedroom. Karen ignores that, but tries to let the chakra through a bit steadier than before. Better. Kurama lazily put his head on his paws, tails flicking. I don't get it. Why do you really want to be sealed in me? Karen asks, trying to blink away the headache. My father envisioned that a time would come, where humans and Baijiu would stand alongside each other. I have witnessed what your kind is capable of, in both hate and in love. This Mugen Tsukuyomi was destined to happen again eventually. Our father foresaw that despite his efforts to unify humanity, they would not weather the coming storm alone. He created us with what your species was not ready for. I want to fulfill my purpose, to live alongside humanity through what I perceive as both the good and the bad. That brat's mother taught me how strong love can be, and his wretched grandfather taught me the hatred of your sniveling race. Gimme a damn break. Your father created the curse of hatred to force his kids to work together. Hold your tongue, wretched child. Kurama howls viciously, shaking the mindscape. The full force of Kurama's hatred rattles her senses, and she nearly passes out for real. Kurama calms himself. My father was a naive being. His kind could not truly be called man, but he sought to understand humans like no other had ever done before. And when he traveled the world, sharing his power with them, he learned to understand love as humans do. He felt it too, for a female of your species, and sired 2 children who he treasured like nothing else. He witnessed what man is capable of. He did his best to turn those boys into wise, strong leaders, and he even gave them his power to do it. He sought to give the best parts of himself to them, his eyes and his body, his very being melding into them just to give them a chance at the joy that he attained in his life. Karen listens carefully to the fox and his reverent words. He, in all his wisdom, could not have predicted what happened. 2 halves of himself, bound together in an unnatural body, gifts that were powerful and yet did not have the grounding that the people who he shared chakra with through other means did. They were not ready, they were made broken. One child was so consumed by hatred that it defined his existence with suffering, and the other so infatuated with ideals and platitudes that he had unrealistic expectations of what people should be like, rather than what they wanted to be like. They didn't understand humans, because they were broken humans, made by a mistake. Kurama huffs, letting go of his anger. Naive, he was. Loving, he was. Malicious, he was not. His love for his children overrode his sense. Humans and Baiju paid the price. Do not be so quick to judge those you know nothing about. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.